Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Top 8 Swedish Inventions in honor of National Day. National Day, I guess, like National Swedish Day. I didn't know they had a national day. I think because mostly when I think of like national days, I think of like Independence Day. And, you know, Swedish, I don't think has an independence day from anyone. So maybe from Norway? No, I think it was the other way around. I think Norway, like, ceded, you know, they were at some point, I think it was Norway, like, does Norway have an independence day? Whatever. I went out of, like, I got sidetracked. But it's National Day, and yes, they have apparently, like, 8 Swedish inventions that they probably are not just important to Swedish people, but probably for the world. I think they invented like I'm thinking of Bluetooth. That was Denmark. I don't know what kind of things actually Swedish people invented. I'm curious to find out. So let's check it out and comment, like, and subscribe. That's the national anthem.
Hey guys, what's going on? Andrew coming at you. In honor of National Day here in Sweden, I thought I would talk about the top 8 inventions coming out of Sweden.
Why?
It's not very Swedish to brag about your country, and Swedes like to be patriotic but like private.
Incredible point, because it's true. Like, if Swedish people like have again of that doll puppy syndrome of like they don't really like to stand out and everything's very like equal, and they believe in like an equal society and people being sort of, you know, the same. They don't like people bragging about things. Isn't it then like not being saying something nice of like, oh, we have a national day and it's very nationalistic? And so what's up with that then? You know, if they're not into it, maybe that's the only day of the year which is allowed to be like, hey, we're better than everyone.
Patriotic. So because I'm American, we got no problems bragging. I thought I would give Sweden some love today in this video. If you like this one, as always, like, share, and subscribe. Let's get into it. The first invention we got to talk about, number 1 on our list, has to be Gideon Sundbeck's invention of the modern day zipper. So basically, if you've ever used the zipper, the modern day feature, it was developed here in Sweden. Just kind of a lesser known fact and something that we pretty much used on a daily basis. I find was interesting. Number 2, moving on this list.
Would love to know when was it invented exactly. People back in those, they have buttons, yes. I think of like what people used before, like zippers. They used buttons and they were probably sewn into things. Probably like, I'm thinking of like dresses. But when was it invented? I'm very curious to find out actually, because I think it's probably, I would say, it's a modern invention, but it's probably older than I'm thinking. Maybe, I don't know.
Ingen Elber and Carl Helsman Hertz helped develop the modern day system for ultrasound. So basically, anytime you're using ultrasound, if you're trying to figure out if your baby's okay, if you're pregnant or anything like that, this was developed. It helped partly in Sweden during the 1970s. So just another way that Sweden is awesome. Probably one of
1970s? Why did I thought that was like older? Like we only got in ultrasounds as a society and as the world in the 1970s? That's crazy. What did people did back? Wow, that's crazy to me. Like, I don't know. I thought that was like super like older, not as in like 1920s, but maybe like since like the 50s. Maybe I think that would be acceptable.
One of the most used inventions I use on this list, Håkan Lans, helped develop what we consider now a modern day mouse for computers. So if you do any type of gaming and working on the mouse and you're using that mouse design with the 2 clicks, the left and the right, this...
Okay, important question, at least to me, then what do people use before having like a mouse? Like, I would think that was invented like with the computer, but I guess you don't really need... No, because what do you use, like the arrow, like the keys? That's weird, right? Like, no, it should... Then what did, like, someone invented a computer and was like, how we could manage this computer? It's like, well, I don't know, like... that's a more important question to me. Like, what did people use before this?
You have to thank Sweden, which is pretty cool because Sweden is already so heavily influenced in the gaming world, really. Lots of great developers and games coming out of Sweden, and also great gaming conventions such as DreamHack. Number 4 on this list, and we have to thank Rune Elmqvist, who helped develop in 1958. He invented the pacemaker.
See, that's older than I thought. I would have thought that's like a modern thing, but apparently it's older than I was expecting. This is crazy.
This one I feel very personal about because I have a friend of mine that actually uses the pacemaker, got the surgery, and it saved his life. And he's been alive now for 15 years. He's had that.
Again, it has saved like so many people. Like I think if you did like the tally of like how many people, how we actually like have the pacemaker actually saved, you know, since its invention, like it's gonna be in the millions probably. So that's crazy because it's been around for what, around 70 years? No, 60? No, 70 years, which again, crazy.
Had the battery replaced a couple times. It is battery operated, but it is just a life-saving device that has changed thousands, if not millions of lives. We obviously can't talk about this list if we don't mention number 5 on this list, Alfred Nobel, who developed dynamite, which is kind of an interesting one because when I first thought about dynamite, you think of like war and explosions and stuff, but really one of the biggest impact was just on construction here around the world. Just the ability to be able to move rock that quickly really catapulted us into the Industrial Revolution.
Okay, so don't know much about buildings and building in general. So do people actually use, maybe back in those days, these days, in this day and age, I don't think people are using like dynamite to, you know, get rid of like a bunch of trees and rocks, and that's where like how we build. That's not how we do it these days, right? Maybe it is. Again, that seems weird to me because like you're using dynamite. Is that an actual thing that's being used these days? Actually, come to think about this, probably yes, because that's what you would do, right? Like you would use dynamite because otherwise what else are you going to use? I think dynamite, it's something that I think of like something from the past, but again, it's probably because I'm unaware of like the uses it has in this day and age, but it's probably something that we still use in like in our daily lives, not ours, but as in ours, as in like the proverbial us, as in like the world. But I don't know why I think dynamite is such a, like, isn't it dangerous? Well, obviously it's gotta have to like safety precautions, but I would think dynamite is something that they used like, I don't know, in the 1800s.
In the West, just be able to create and things like that. And of course, now we honor Alfred Nobel, and the Nobel Prize is given out in Sweden every year.
Something that I find funny is that he invented dynamite and he created the Nobel Prize. I don't know how it came to be, but if like Swedish people are very into like not standing out, and they're very like careful of not to brag and not to stand out, then how come a Swedish man invented the Nobel Prize? It was just like one of the most things that you can be like one of the braggiest things I can imagine. It's like, I have a Nobel Prize, which is like they only hand out like a few like every year. There's only one in one field. Like having a Nobel Prize is just like, I think one of the highest like, you know, like awards that I can think of. And it was invented by a Swedish guy, which and apparently like Swedish people are not into like, no, we don't want to brag, we don't want to stand out. So how come a Swedish guy invented this? And did he invented it because he wanted to like award his peers? But then I'm guessing he got one because he invented dynamite. So it's like, because it would seem obvious, yes, but I'm going to create an award. It's going to be called, it's going to have my last name. And also, I'm going to hand out a few of these to like people that I believe are being, they need to be recognized in certain fields, but also me, because I invented dynamite. So, how did it came to me of like, I'm giving myself an award with my name? Would love to know. Probably it didn't happen that way, and I'm just imagining, but it's very curious, right? So, that's the next one on our list. Number 6, and this is probably the most Swedish thing ever done, is Volvo developed the 3-point seatbelt system. And speaking like a true Swede, basically Volvo realized how life-saving this technology was going to be and believed that it was not worth it. It was better for the greater good of all if they shared the technology with everybody else. They didn't patent it. So they chose to give every car manufacturer the same right to build a seatbelt. And just imagine how many lives then have been saved by seatbelts over the course of time. Just imagining if they had patented this and be like, no, you guys are on your own, and other car manufacturers would have to like, no, we're not doing this. That, I mean, the world, I think, would be an incredibly different place, actually. And what a great thing that a company didn't care about profit first and actually cared about saving people's lives. I think that's awesome. Number 7, again, I'm going to say something that I think it's bad, but I don't think like in this day and age, people like companies will still do that. I think that's a thing of the past. People like be like, it's more important to save lives. I don't think if something like this would happen, like in this day and age, I think people would be like, no, we are gonna earn money from this.
I'd be on this list without talking about IKEA, which really revolutionized the way furniture is shipped, the way people buy furniture, that cut down the cost of everything, being able to build it yourself. You can't go to a Swedish home without having something from IKEA, and basically IKEA is everywhere. You can go to any home, it seems like, around the world, and you're going to find something from IKEA, whether it's a coffee cup or a furniture or things like that. One of the major companies to come out of Sweden, and it has such a big impact on the world. It's everywhere. Like even in the US, you see it all the time, IKEA. So fantastic job there. And number 8, which I put on this list, is Almensrot, or the way that like Swedes see nature. It might be a Scandinavian thing overall.
I thought it was gonna be a dessert because it's like almonds, as in like almonds.
But this whole idea that nature is something that we share. You can basically go anywhere that you want to go, walk anywhere you want to walk, and maybe camp or have a good time. And as long as you take care of the stuff, you throw away your trash and things like that, you're basically free to move around. This is awesome if you want to pick mushrooms in the summer, if you want to go fishing, if you just want to go hiking and explore, you have the freedom to do that. Swedes see nature as something to be shared, which I just find to be a very, very beautiful thing. So
me too.
I hope you guys like this one. I really just want to say congratulations to Sweden. Great country to live in. I'm happy to be here. Sweden has a special place in my heart because this is where I've basically started my life and thrives. Jag älskar Sverige. And jag vill se dig i nästa video. Hej då.
Oh, he said see you in the next video. Okay, so yes, I think a lot of things I didn't actually like know, which I'm happy to know like right now, but I think the most like interesting part about this that I think I'm dying to know is the noble one, because I'm serious about this. It's Swedish because I know like being like equal and sort of like, everyone sort of like it's being the same and for the greater good. I'm so curious about how the Nobel Prize came to be. Like, if the guy that invented this was like, no, I'm going to award myself. I'm so curious to find out, because and also I want to know how they actually do this. I know the Nobel Prize is something that apparently is very like curious to me, because how do they actually choose and how do they pick, like, because I know they don't get nominations. Like, it's not like I'm nominating myself. It's just like, is it a committee, and I'm guessing it's a committee, and they just like do not let you know, hey, you're up for an award this year. They just like tell you, hey, congratulations, you won a Nobel Prize. And it's like, okay, well, thank you. Like, what am I supposed to like, when should I book my flight to Sweden? Something like that, I'm guessing. But how do you get, it's a committee, but how do you get on the committee? Because I'm guessing every sort of like area has its own like people, like literature has its own thing, and physics has its own like people. But is it a committee? Is it a board? How are you getting those? And are they only Swedish people? Is it like, no, it takes everyone from in the world? How many people are they actually? Is it like a huge committee? Or is it, it's like, it's composed of like 1,000 people? Or is it like actually very small? No, it's just like by section, we only have like 10. No, we have to be, actually, they can't be like equal numbers. They have to be, because someone has to like someone has to be the tiebreaker. So I would guess it's like, it's like 7, because someone has to like be, there's a tie, then has there been ties as well, actually, just come to think about this, because I would think, no, we need someone, it has to be on a number, because someone has to like break the tie in case that happens. How do they actually like, is it a prize? Is it just like a medal? It's like metal. They don't give you like a kind of statue, right? Like, no, I'm pretty sure it's a medal, and that it has the Alfred Nobel's face on it. And is it gold? Is it like the Olympics? I don't know. And do they give you a diploma just for participating? I don't know. I'm so very curious about the whole Nobel Prize situation. But as for the other inventions, I think probably the most important one, and not that the others are not important, but I think the seatbelt. I think that's like the most important contribution like Swedish have done to the world. Not that IKEA isn't incredible, or that again the mouse like and dynamite, of course. Like there's like so many things that are like the peacemaker. Yes, there's so many important things, but I think ultimately the seatbelt takes the cake, just because again, think of like it's something that everyone uses in this day and age. It's so completely normalized. Like you wouldn't like sense I don't really know. I think it was in the 1950s that they actually made it mandatory for all cars to have this. It's mandatory. Every car has it. You wouldn't think twice about this being a seatbelt. Like, it actually surprises me that it's like, oh, the seatbelt was not invented with the car. It's the same thing about like the computer and the computer mouse, because it's like, well, what did they do back in those days without, what do they, like, people just drove cars. And I know that, of course, when you actually think about this, it's like, yes, of course, the older cars didn't have this. But I know if I think about it, like, properly, but just, you know, the first thought into my head is like, what did people do back in those days? Like, if they didn't have a seatbelt? Because to me, it's so completely normalized of like all cars have seatbelts that is crazy to me to think of like a computer. A computer. It's hard for me to think of like a car without a seatbelt. It's like, so it's crazy that no, there was a time quite semi-recent where they didn't really had seatbelts, and it wasn't until this guy came and said, no, you know, there's like so many car accidents that, you know, we can't actually avoid the car accidents, but we can make them a little bit safer, or, you know, make for people not to die. So it's like, yes, of course, like, what a great invention to the world. Maybe he should, maybe they should have awarded the Nobel Prize to him. I don't know, like, what sort of, like, well, it's an invention, so maybe it qualified, but I think maybe they didn't realize when it happened and when it was invented, how important it was. I think only in retrospect that you can actually see how many people has the seatbelt saved. Like, it's, again, it's gotta be an insane number, because it's like, imagine how many like car accidents people get into car accidents every single day. And, you know, they've been saved, their lives have been saved because of using a seatbelt. So I think that's definitely the most important one. And I think just because, again, you don't really think twice if someone invented this. It's like, no, for me, it has always been the case, which it hasn't. So, you know, it's like, yes, for me, that one's it. And also I think like probably the zipper. Now, obviously, I know that it's not, it doesn't save lives, but I think it's one of those things as well. If you like, you use it every day and you're not thinking, I meant the zipper. It's like, no, it's something that you take for granted. It's like, it's something that has always been there. But you know what? A toast for seatbelts, zippers, and dynamite, and what else? It's like so many things, and the computer mouse as well. And that was it for today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.